The Crunch dropped 2 of 3 games this past week as they lose 2 games in a single hockey week for the first time since the end of October. The Crunch lost 2 games on October 26th and October 27th. Since that moment, they've been the best team in the American Hockey League and again had not lost twice in 1 week until this past week. The Crunch losing in Utica on Wednesday and then on home ice against the Toronto Marlies on Saturday. Now, sandwiched between those 2 games was a very strong performance on home ice against the Bridgeport Sound Tigers. So the Crunch go 1-2 this past week, and they are still only 2 points out of first place in the North Division, 2 points behind the Rochester Americans. But again, the Crunch still have 3 games in hand on the Amherst heading into the week. But head coach Ben Grew knows he doesn't want to see his team become complacent because they've been such a good team over the last number of weeks. Wants his team to get back to what's been working for the team recently.
When you're not on track, you got to recognize that situation. And it's a long season, and you can't be perfect all the time. But as a coach and as a team and as the leaders we have on this team, we have to recognize that this effort's not good enough. The way we play is not good enough. And I think it was the case in Utica. I think it was the case against Toronto. Nothing to do with the losses. It's more the way we played. Thought against Bridgeport we had a strong effort.
Complacency is something that can creep into a lineup when the Crunch have been going so well over the last couple of weeks. But Captain Gabriel Dumont knows that the Crunchers have to get back to work, play the way they were, and that hard-working team that they are to get back on track this week.
At the beginning of the year when we started, we had to prove ourselves, and now it's not thinking that we accomplish anything. We just got to go out there, and we're our team to play against when we play our way. But we can't get away from this because then we became really average.
The Crunch hit the ice for 3 games in 4 nights against 3 separate North Division teams here this upcoming week. Syracuse begins the week Wednesday night in Binghamton against the Binghamton Devils. Crunch are 6-0 against Binghamton here this season, and they play a couple more times over the next few weeks, including the final game in Binghamton in a few weeks from now. Then on Friday night, the Crunch are home for their only home game this week. That is a matchup with the Cleveland Monsters, 3rd matchup of the season with Cleveland. The team split a 2-game set at Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland November 30th and December 1st. And then on Saturday, it's back to Utica against the Utica Comets, 5th matchup of the Galaxy Cup Series between those 2 teams. You can catch all the action this week on ESPN Radio or AHL TV. Countdown at Crunch Time presented by Supercuts proceeds all 3 games by 15 minutes. And then the puck drop follows at that point, 7:05 on Wednesday night in Binghamton, 7 o'clock on both Friday and Saturday. The Crunch look to bounce back from a 1-2 week this past week, starting Wednesday in Binghamton as the Crunch roll on in their 2nd week of 2019.